So thank you guys so much for being here and talking with us today. I mean, like I said, we're as I've talked with you before, Savane, we're just kind of a community of IOTA community members who are all interested in getting involved with building decentralized finance, applications or being adjacent to that in some way. And this community is just a way for all of us to come together and like hone those abilities with the initial goal of building basically an ohm fork on the IOTA smart contracts testnet. And then that's just I see as practice. But once we have that built and we have some real practice underneath us, then I kind of see this as a community for everyone to for us all to decide by DAO governance what our next direction is and kind of what innovative solutions we want to try to build together next. And secondarily, this community is just a place for DeFi building members of the community, or the IOTA community specifically, to come together and to learn and to connect with each other and build these strong partnerships between different projects. And that's really where I see your team and other teams in the space being valuable in this community, and this community being valuable to you. So that's just kind of the preface, just to make sure everybody has an idea of what this community is. And with that, we're really looking forward to hear more details of what you guys have to say. So thank you for being here. And if you'd just like to introduce yourselves.
Sure. I guess I could start, then Tangleswap and Toby could introduce themselves, and then I could finish again by introducing the other two team members who are not here with us today.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm Savane, Pilot Savane, as we have this crew of pilots here at Tangleswap, piloting the spaceship. I have a background in software development and 6 years of experience in different software startups. Also, I'm a 2x startup founder. And together with Tangleswap, we decided to launch Tangleswap as soon as we saw that the IOTA ecosystem was ripe for it, right? When the smart contracts alpha came back in, I think it was July, that's when we decided, okay, this is the time finally to do this, because we've been following for quite some time, especially him. And yeah, here at Tangleswap, I'm just taking sort of the role. I kind of hate these titles, but sort of the role of CEO or CEO. So strategy, recruiting, scheduling, setting up the infrastructure, all of this good stuff. So Tangleswap, maybe you want to go next?
Okay. First of all, I have to say that your platform is great. I think that in this space, sometimes it's really hard to find people that it's related to DeFi and building things. And more strange is to find people that it's building things on top of IOTA right now. So it's great to have a place like this to find other people interested on participating. About me, I have been investing on IOTA since 2016, 2017. So I have been in all the process in between, and I am really glad that finally we have some opportunity to start developing our tools and creating a strong community where all of us can participate and create and build and form part of something greater. And about me, I have been related to finance and business for 3 years, and right now I'm in charge of business strategy, financial plans, finding opportunities, finding partners, a little bit of everything, like community engagement, etc.
Awesome.
So, Toby, you want to keep?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Toby. Yeah, I'm the lead front-end developer at Tangleswap and also assisting with product strategy and product design on improving the user experience of all products we will be building and releasing onto the space. I've been building products for 2 to 3 years now, mainly front end and product design and working on user experience and also working on the crypto space. So products we are building are quite exciting.
Awesome, great. Um, would you guys want to introduce any of your team members who aren't available to join us at the moment?
Yeah, sure. I can just give a quick one. Also, we're currently drafting a Medium article where we will go a bit more into the details about this. But we currently have two more core team members, and just yesterday I finished interviewing a sixth one that is going to join us very soon. And apart from that, we have three other people that work with us sort of part-time as external contributors. But yeah, the other two team members will be Hercules, who is our lead backend developer. He has eight plus years of backend development experience, and he really has touched a bit of everything, including DEXs, DAOs, DeFi tokenizations, stablecoins, smart contracts in Rust, Solidity, and Go, Polkadot, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Sacred, Snarks, directly acyclic graphs besides IOTA, proof of work, proof of stake, Byzantine fault tolerant consensus protocols, quantum resistant signatures, etc., and a bunch of software patents in the US as well.
So he's an
been around
overachiever.
Yeah, I like to call him Rockstar, but that's a good word as well. So he's been all around for 8 years, and we're really happy to count with him on the team. And then the fifth team member is Pilot Aurora. He just joined us something like 6 days ago, so it's very recent, and he's our lead designer. So together with Toby, they're going to be working in creating the face of Tangleswap, so to speak. He's a really, really nice, elegant 3D motion designer. And so I'm really excited to show you guys the work they will be creating in a few months. And that would be it for the team right now. Well, actually, the sixth member that I interviewed is like not so overachiever smart contract developer as well, and he's going to be taking charge of the bridges. So we will focus initially on an Ethereum IOTA bridge, and then later on as well on a Binance Smart Chain IOTA bridge. And he's just going to be focusing exclusively on that.
Very cool. Awesome to hear. Well, thank you all for the introductions. I'm going to dive into the questions, some of the questions that were posed by community members.
So, let's hear them.
Yeah. So how did, I guess you've touched on this a little bit, but how did everyone get involved with IOTA specifically? And when did that happen?
Do you want to start Tangleswap? I guess we should go chronological order.
In my case, it was because during 2016, 2017, I was exploring some projects to invest on. And when I found about IOTA, I literally couldn't believe that there was a project that was trying to really solve the dilemma and was like focusing all the developments on the real world applications. So that's where they got my attention, and since then I have been really, really involved on the community and on this project. Sometimes it was a little bit hard, as you may know. We have some really difficult years, but now I think that things are more clear. The path is paved, and probably we will see nice things for the coming years.
Right. And then, so I've known Tangleswap for more than 20 years now, and I've been invested in crypto since until like 2017 or something like this. But I didn't really get into IOTA until early next year. So that would be January 2020 approximately. That's when Tangleswap finally managed to pull me to the IOTA side. And I just learned about the technology, and I was like in love. But also I learned about the drama a bit from the 2017-18 cycle. And so I was a bit skeptic to begin with, and then little by little, it was like a slow story of love with IOTA until I want to say end of the year when I was super on board with it, and we were just waiting for the right opportunity to build the right product. And then, yeah, we identified this DEX opportunity a few months later, and then a few months later, the smart contracts went live, and so we said, okay, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Great. Yeah, I love to hear that. I agree. That's why I put this community together as well. Is IOTA is going to have some really cool opportunities, some ways to provide value to the crypto world in general that just aren't possible on other blockchains. But that's all dependent on, like you mentioned before, the drama. Like it's all dependent on getting all of these tools out there in the space. So. It's just been a journey to get there, but now that we're on the right track,
yes, you must embrace the drama.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's a learning experience for sure. For sure.
I'm sure a lot of members in these sessions also can relate to what Tango Strongs actually have as well, because most of us are also long-term IOTA holders as well since 2017, 16. So
battle scars.
Awesome. Well, so I guess I'll move on to the next question. So we know Tangleswap's a DEX. How is that envisioned? The question here is, how does that work? I think most of us are familiar with kind of the way a DEX works, but maybe what are some additional features or how do you guys envision the protocol? And only, you don't have to say anything that you're not that you don't feel as you're comfortable with saying.
That's a good. Okay, you start. Go ahead.
Okay. At first, we envision Tangleswap, as you said, as a simple product, a DEX, because we want to provide with to the IOTA users with tools to participate in the network as fast as possible, and making us a solid product. Once we have this built and ready for everyone to use, we can start improving and developing some tools that make that DEX more efficient. But from starters, we want to make like something that is ready to use as fast as possible, because we know that a lot of the community is waiting for this, and we don't want more soons. We want to have this now. So yes. And that's the core idea, to have this DEX. Something like, I know that for those that are involved on DeFi, you know that making a DEX is not that complex. Maybe making a DEX on IOTA is more complex because smart contracts works in a completely different manner. But yeah, for starters, we want to make a DEX, a basic DEX with swap functionalities, liquidity tools, and staking. That's like the basics of a DEX. And once we have this, we can improve our DEX to add. I have read about limit orders, I don't know, cross-chain, etc. Also, we can add more functionalities to our webpage as lending. We also have some plan to develop a stablecoin on top of IOTA, but these things are long-term plans. our short term is like developing a DEX, the DEX that we all know.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, get an MVP as fast to the market, to the mainnet as possible, that it's solid and secure. We want to emphasize a lot on security for obvious reasons. And then once we have that working, we build upon it. We iterate and expand to a really wide range of DeFi solutions that we want to provide. So we want basically people to log into Tangleswap with their Firefly or MetaMask wallets and have like a whole portfolio of things that they can use. And to begin with, they're only going to be able to use one, then two, then three. But yeah, that's where we are right now.
Awesome. Very cool. Great to hear. And the new kind of plan for a bridging solution to ETH and Binance Smart Chain that factors into this for maybe providing, some of the initial pools.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So regarding to that, I think that's related to one of the questions that one of your community members posted, but that's closely related to the fact that the IF doesn't have many resources right now to devote towards a bridge. They have so many fronts open with Assembly and Shimmer and many other projects that they haven't disclosed. And of course, the smart contracts to mainnet and the core side, a lot of stuff happening. But yeah, the conclusion is that perhaps they were planning some months ago. I think we saw it somewhere in some public server to build a bridge, but now they're not. And so, yeah, it's something that each project will have to do on their own. And so that's why we're dedicating just a developer with 4 years just for this. And actually, we're quite open. We know we want to do Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain first, but we're quite open to what other networks would come after, depending on the interest from the community.
Gotcha. And so just an interjection here. Bridges from other environment. Oftentimes, there's one or two or a couple like really popular bridges, in my experience, and for a specific project. When you say you think of like every protocol having to build their own bridge, I'm not sure if that's necessarily true from my experience, but I guess I would say, what is, you may not have this yet, but what is the plan kind of for the bridge? Because I know there's a lot of different ways to put a bridge together with different types of like signers quorums, stuff like that. Is that maybe diving a little bit too far into the details yet? I know it's a new project.
That's a perfect question for Hercules, because the other day he was just dropping a massive message about this. But I don't think, at least I can confidently, get into the details. He was mainly saying that, let me see if I can remember correctly. I think he was just making a special emphasis on how much you need to know about, like how deep knowledge you need to have about each of the blockchains. So for example, sure, Ethereum and IOTA, it's fairly doable because Ethereum has been done 1,000 times, and then IOTA, we're already digging deep into it. Then Binance will be a bit more of a challenge, but I really cannot give you like the deep technical details because that's not my place. Yeah.
Definitely.
But maybe what you can do is like a follow up in the text channel, and then I'll ask Hercules to send you like a proper response.
Yeah,
if that works.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more of just what he has to say. I know there's a lot of different solutions, and it seems like there's new kind of bridging ideas being built every day. So I didn't know if you guys had something new planned, or if you're planning to use a kind of like existing infrastructure for building a bridge. But yeah, thank you for going into that detail a little bit. Kind of tangential to that question is, are you guys working with any other members of the IOTA space as far as bridging goes, or as far as other product offering goes? I know there's like Tangleswap or Tanglesea and Lendex, and maybe a couple other DeFi builders in the space.
Yeah, but we have been in touch with a lot of projects being built on top of IOTA right now. And yeah, we are sharing our ideas we are sharing our ideas, sharing how our developments go, and also if we find something that we can help each other, we for sure be able to participate in that. But yeah, Lendex, Tangleswap, I think that's one from building a stablecoin. Also, IOTA. Yeah, we have like plenty of contact with some of the community members and projects.
Great to hear.
But I think like the closest partnership proposals that we have right now, and there's nothing official or like in firm ground, but actually I think most of them are other projects that are trying to dig into IOTA. So maybe they've been doing their thing for a few months or a couple of years in Ethereum or other blockchains, and they're just kind of waking up to the fearlessness and other advantages of IOTA, and they want to jump in. So they're just reaching out to us to see if it would make sense to collaborate in any way. But from the IoT ecosystem, like Tangleswap said, yeah, there's also some interesting projects. Yeah.
Yeah. As Ivan said, it's nothing official yet, but internally we are hosting a recruiting program where we want to bring quality projects from other ecosystems, and we already have a few ones that are really interested, and maybe you will hear something about that soon.
Awesome, that's very exciting. Love to hear that.
That's exciting. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I guess moving on a little bit. So where do you guys think of, what do you think of as your current development status for Tangleswap? And how did you get it to the point that it is now? Did you use existing resources for building the DEX, or did you kind of build it from the ground up?
So there's not many existing resources, and I'm just gonna be quoting Hercules from what we've been talking for the past few weeks, because we're coding the whole thing from the ground up in native Go language. We were studying if we wanted to do. I think I said this in some message before, but we were studying and originally planning to launch Tangleswap as a Solidity-based DEX using the EVM. But then we were speaking for 2 or 3 weeks with the IF and evaluating if this was the best decision or we should instead go for Rust and Go or Go. Then we decided for Rust, and then we quickly turned into Go after speaking with Eric Opp. Yeah, because of the schema tool and other technicalities, it looked like the best option. And he validated that our assumption. So yeah, we decided to go for it. And it's mostly a trial and error and an exploration exercise. There's not that many resources that we can base ourselves from.
Yep.
The guys are pretty good, but they also have some holes on them where you need to figure out and spend like quite a few hours or even sometimes days finding the details that you need for the smart contracts to work smoothly. And also Hercules has been focusing on these safe math and other low-level libraries.
Yes.
That are, do you know about them?
Yeah, I know those are really important in the Solidity space, and that's some tooling that's going to be required in Go and Rust and any WASM languages that we use, for sure. Right.
So he's been like going really low level in there, and according to him, it's because the performance difference is going to be really felt, especially once we have a lot of people using the protocol. So he spent at least 1 month just going this low level, and then started slowly building from the ground up. And for the status, I think he had four or five major roadblocks, and most of them he was able to solve them quite recently, asking the IF and then also revisiting the guides. So I want to say that we're pretty close, but definitely not going to be able to launch in December as we were hoping that it would be possible, but more like January. But I'm pretty confident that mid-January, late January, we're going to have this private beta that we were announcing before, and then we would probably take 2 weeks to integrate the feedback from this beta, and then have something that we can finally show to the public, hopefully early February or something like this.
Wow, very exciting. Yeah, and it sounds like Hercules is a real rock star, kind of putting together that Go and Rust tooling from the ground up. That's
Hercules
crazy.
is a fitting name, I feel like, in this case.
Do you know, this is, maybe a question that you wouldn't be able to answer for Hercules, but do you think that he will make some of those libraries that he's building in Go available to the public? Because those would be very useful to the space.
Yep, everything is going to be open source. So as soon as we're ready, everything is going to go on GitHub, and everyone is going to be able to use it freely.
Wow, that would be...
Yeah, that's the challenge, right? Is when do you release it to
exactly.
open source? That's actually what I'm wrestling with as well, right?
Definitely. So. And I think
exactly
that's the thing that I keep running into is Solidity is such a battle-tested language at this point. There's so many different libraries out there for it to protect people from exploits, and we just don't have that in Rust and Go yet. So it's great to hear that there's someone really knowledgeable working on some of those problems right now, and will be able to share that code with other people building in the community, because libraries like Safe Math for Solidity are going to be essential as people build DeFi on IOTA in Rust and Go.
Yep, completely agreed.
Cool, very
hopefully cool. Hopefully we will get all of these open source at the same time that we can launch, and then, as I said, we would like to audit this before mainnet.
Yeah.
For the reasons that you just brought into the table, the Solidity may be more tried and tested, and this is going to be a little bit, the logic that we're porting is the same, right? But still the implementation details are different. So it's always good to have an external audit firm that, in our case, Dom Schiener said that he could provide as soon as they have closed it. So they're just trying to close this. Actually, I don't know how much I can reveal about this, but I think this is public knowledge.
I don't know.
They're just trying to have an audit firm for the IoT ecosystem. So hopefully that will work out, and then we can use that one. Otherwise, there's plenty of options that we could as well use.
Yeah, you're right. I will confirm that you're spot on there. So
yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, that ties in perfectly to the next question is, will there be an auditing process before Shimmer? And, how will you guys end up affording the Shimmer or mainnet audits?
So, do we know when Shimmer is going to go live?
I don't think so.
So then it's hard to say, right? But we also have plenty of options for funding. Maybe Tangleswap, you want to touch on them a little bit. But yeah, it all depends on when everything is going to happen, how much the audit is going to cost, which is also not clear yet, and how much funding we're able to raise comfortably without compromising on anything that we would not like to.
Definitely.
But yeah, there's quite a few unknowns to, I think, know for sure yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but we will try to get it audited before Shimmer release, because if I'm right, on Shimmer you will be playing with real money, so it's better to have everything safe and sound. But yeah, there is a lot of unknowns, so it's better to wait a little bit and see how all of this goes. But yeah, our idea is to have our code audited before Shimmer launch, before a mainnet launch.
Awesome.
Have you guys, just FYI, have you guys started trying to schedule those guys yet?
No, not yet.
I just a little heads up. They're pretty backlogged, so just heads up. You might want to try to just. I know it's early, but just know that the testers are resource constrained as well. The auditors, right? So just heads up that you want to try to get your schedule of those guys. Let them know as much in advance as you can, so that they can have the right assets available for you when you need it.
Definitely.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, surely I will follow up then soon with them.
Yeah,
Try
I
to
know.
find who they are as well.
Yeah, I know some auditors in the Solidity realm are backlogged a couple months at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Thanks for letting us know.
You bet.
Yeah.
For sure.
Community, bud. It's all
Yeah.
about community.
We all want to
Yes,
use
yes, it is.
want to use Tangleswap too. We want to be there on Shimmer trading and stuff. So we want you guys to be up and running.
Yeah, that sounds very nice. Thanks.
Cool. So yeah, the next question is just regarding kind of the tokenomics. You know, is there any sort of pre-sale? Is there an announcement for that? You guys may not have this all figured out yet, but do you have any ideas?
Yeah, Tanglestrong, do you want to take this one?
Okay. About pre-sale, yeah, we will probably will be raising a little amount. Our idea is that the biggest part of our tokens are get farmed. So to incentivize farming pools. But yeah, there will be a little part that will be airdropped. Another one that will be used to keep our system working.
Mhm.
Another part will be for pre-sale. But I mean, like a big, the major part of our tokens will be farmed.
Yeah, a vast majority. And then pre-sale will be minor concept, and then airdrop will be something like 1/3 of the pre-sale probably. And then also a not so big percentage as well for the team, for the current members, and a little bit as well for future members. But yeah, there will for sure be a pre-sale, and we will make sure to communicate this in advance so that people have time to plan and organize around it.
Very cool. No NFTs, no
That's the part that we cannot talk much about yet. But that
okay.
belongs to Aurora as well. So maybe for the next talk, he can drop some info on that.
Cool. If you guys had to think of, you know, a DEX that your vision is most like, what do you think? What DEX that currently exists out there comes closest to it?
Okay, if we talk about vision, we of course we want to be the main gateway for people to enter the space. So it will be like a PancakeSwap, Uniswap, or Serum from Solana. And we want to be like not only a DEX, but a place where projects get bust and people can enter the ecosystem in a safe and secure way. So yeah, that will be our vision. But about our DEX, I think that there are a lot of options out there that have like a really nice tech. That's way better than the one that's being used on PancakeSwap or Uniswap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we have to find the equilibrium between safe and efficient, and of course we need to find the resources to get there. But yeah, about our vision, we want to be like the main the heart of IOTA, where people enter the ecosystem and gets familiar in an easy and safe way. And about the tech, yeah, there are IDEX. I think that this is a good DEX. IDEX,
IDEX pretty good, yeah.
Then Sibane likes matcha.
That's actually from Toby originally.
Really?
Toby, he put it in a radar. It's a really nice aggregator. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Yeah,
but
matcha.
First of all, yeah, matcha.
Yeah. In terms of user experience, we're trying to do what's better than matcha.
Very cool.
Yeah, the user. Yeah. User experience is amazing, and also they have some create, I think it was Ethereum feeless transactions, but don't quote me on that. But they're also doing some really interesting novel products. So I guess in that sense also, it kind of matches our vision where we want to provide this portfolio of DeFi solutions.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a great vision to have, and looking forward to seeing the next steps, like as you guys kind of release the next parts of it for Shimmer and everything. Sounds really cool. Another question that I had from a community member was, do you guys have any insights as to your token's utility? Is there going to be any sort of governance involved with the Void token, or what does that look like? You may not know yet. That's okay.
Yeah, that part is still like not down to the details, because obviously you need to have something to govern first. But we definitely plan on setting up a DAO and involve the community quite heavily on some of the most important decisions regarding the protocol. So we're on Sunaverse right now. I think we have a few members already that have joined the space. And we definitely plan on using Void as a governance token, where users will just, according to the amount of token that they hold, just take decisions that involve them as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, and also we plan to use it mainly as a reward token, utility token, in the sense of, I guess I can disclose a little bit that we plan on making a few NFT collections that will have different functions or different purposes, so about things that you will be able to make. And so in this sense, Void is a reward token because you get it from the liquidity pools or staking pools, but you also use it for stuff that actually creates some functionality, and I cannot talk much about. And then you also use it as a governance token. So I guess three main avenues.
Sounds like a great way to use badges.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah, so we know that to keep the price of a reward token profitable, it's hard. So we are really working hard to apart from being a reward token, make it a great utility token, and we are finding a lot of possibilities on how Void could be profitable for the users, apart from being a reward token.
Yeah, so on the Cerniverse we have all the badges and so forth that based upon reputation, right? So we would love to have a discussion with you on how we could help you leverage our system and maybe help you guys accelerate your process, because we've got a lot of stuff that isn't even delivered yet that we'll be showing here, coming out in the coming week or two. So take a look at how we employ reputation badges and awarding. You might be able to get where you want to go faster. Plus, we're actually, I'm talking my book here, but we're actually trying to make sure that reputation and badges are kind of used, because they're all based upon a monetary system, essentially. So
okay, that's nice. Good. Yeah.
I'll definitely follow up on this one after the call, for sure.
Yeah.
And also I want to say that as much as you guys are excited with Tangleswap, I think we are excited as well with Sunaverse. It's such a nice initiative and perfectly executed so far.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. But it's only as good as this is a platform that was established. Yeah, right. So making the connections with the communities, and what we're introducing is something called alliances, and which we'll be doing an AMA on that. But that is a way that you can have DAO to DAO communication and exchanging of badges across DAOs. So, or across DAOs or groups. Or, so whatever, you don't have to be a DAO, but so you're with your space, right? And there's just a lot of unique things that you'll, I think, just will benefit from, because we're trying to actually make the whole community, the ecosystem, be knitted together, right? So that we can all benefit from everything we build, because each one of us are one of these spaces or one of these groups are bringing together some really cool, unique things, right? But together they make a really powerful thing. So
definitely, and Sooniverse, from what I know of Sooniverse, it's going to be what Dexes will love. There's going to be so many new projects that kind of spring up from the Sooniverse realm that then are looking for liquidity pools and bringing volume to Dexes. So that's going to be really exciting, I think, for any Dex in the space. And
we hope to feed these, right? We hope to feed, kind of be like a feeder of clientele for you guys.
Totally. And I think Sooniverse is going to be a little bit dependent on Dexes when Sooniverse is looking at maybe using the prices from Dex pools for their own smart contracts and stuff as kind of like a pseudo price oracle.
Yep,
that's a good way to put it.
Sounds like we're gonna have an intense 2022, right?
yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Just make sure. I'm overtaking here, but okay. I just want to make sure that we aren't a DEX. We aren't being a DEX. We're an enabler. We're connecting and working with them. So I don't want to do that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's beautiful synergy in there, I think.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. I guess the next question is I'm going to go through these last two, and then we'll just kind of open it up to the community to ask questions as they see fit. In what ways could kind of this community support you, this DeFi builders community? And are you satisfied with the support that you've received from the IF? Is there pros, cons there?
Okay, I guess I can take the first one, and then Tangleswap, maybe you can go with the IF part. So for now, before we launch our beta quite soon in some weeks, the best way for us to be supported is just keep on doing what you have been doing until now and spreading the good word. We use mostly Twitter and Discord, but really any channel counts. Then also we have I think we should probably recirculate it again, a form for getting involved, because we've been receiving a lot of DMs and messages and tweets and people trying to contribute to Tangleswap from different parts. But it would be really good if we could have it all structured into one form. I think we already have something like 25 entries. But I know that if you put together all the social media channels, we would have something like 60 or 70 or 80 probably. So I'm probably going to recirculate that form again so that people can fill it with how they want to contribute. It's just a Google form. And then also soon, probably with the beta, but perhaps a bit later, we will have this career section on the Tangleswap website. And that will be also a place where people will be able to just go to the website and check what we're currently needing the most.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then go ahead.
About community, what community could do for us apart from what Sven said. I think that keep up the work that you are doing, and just suggestions or like you said before, like about auditing process. We didn't know that it could take so long to be audited. Now we know, so we can deliver a better work. Just suggestions, ideas, participating in our initiatives. Just like keep engaged and let's go. And about the IOTA Foundation, they have been really supportive since the beginning. I mean, they always provide us with tools to understand how the development process should go. They have a specific channel for developers where you can ask questions and talk them about ideas. From Dom, that is the CEO, to the I don't know, maybe marketing guy. Everyone is really supportive. Everyone is open to answer your questions. So yeah, they are being really, really supportive to us, and I think that to every project that wants to start working with IOTA.
Awesome. Great to hear. I see that somebody has joined us, Tangular. Is that one of your team members?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, hi. Sorry I was late.
No problem.
Work got up and I struggled to find the server. Hi.
So Tangular is, I say, so yeah, okay. Let me just quickly introduce Tangular. I was, just introducing the team a bit before, and I think I mentioned that we had some people that, joined us as part-time or like external contributors, and so Tangular is one of them. He's a full. Well, do you want to give the introduction yourself, mate?
Yeah, sure. So I've previously specialized in blockchain research and moved slightly more towards full stack development, particularly for cybersecurity. Which is, so the majority of my experience is in connecting and basically just building full stack from the beginning to end. But the vast majority of what I do now is cloud engineering, but mostly with the cybersecurity angle to it. So I'm just hoping to make sure it's as secure as possible.
Awesome. Sounds like a great guy to have on the team, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Good asset.
All right. The last question before I open it up to kind of anyone who wants to talk in the community. What advice would you give to people just getting into DeFi development and smart contract development in general? What would you think of as the best recommendations to move forward in that realm?
That's a really good question. Anyone wants to take it? I can do it.
I can take it. Yeah, I think that the best way to proceed will be like reading a lot, maybe also watching videos, and I think that it's also really important to read from official sources. For example, if you enter, I don't know, Tangleswap, they have a really complete guide and fact about how you should use the exchange and security measures you should take. Once you have like completed this process and you fully understand all the terms that are involved on DeFi and this new tech, you can join communities, so you can be selective from whom you should learn and whom not, because some people talk but as they know something, but in reality they don't have any clue about what they are talking about. Last one, I will say like that you have to be careful about how much money you invest on this type of new tech, and always take care about this, that you never use more money than what you're allowed to lose. That will make your sleep sweeter. And I would say that these three steps are key for everyone that wants to be involved on DeFi and this new paradigm.
Yep. In my personal experience, I especially agree with the one that read a lot, but also put a special effort into filtering what you read. As in, try to consume a lot, but a lot of quality content, because it's easy to get lost in the noise. And that would be like most of what you can do. It depends if you want to get into DeFi more from the business side, more from the creative side, more from the coder side. That's all different advice, but just read a lot and read good stuff from good people that have achieved previously.
For sure. How do you kind of bridge that gap between, let's say that I have all of the knowledge and kind of the smart contract or Solidity skills built? I understand them. I can write the smart contracts. How do you bridge that gap from the knowledge to actually implementing and deploying, a successful protocol?
As in finding a good project, or exactly how do you mean?
Oh, I guess I mean, like what are kind of some of the other steps involved, like to get a protocol together that you're wanting to deploy? I guess after you've built it, like what?
Oh, right. So I guess it's really important to start by validating your assumptions that people want and need what you're trying to build, then building it, of course, and then also making sure that things are not going to break when you productionize it. So it's sort of like a checklist where you just need to go step by step, and maybe you can switch the order of the steps, but you kind of have to check them all after. But yeah, it's mostly validating your business assumptions to begin with, building the product, staying in close touch like we're doing right now with the communities to make sure, because you guys have already had quite a lot of input for the past few months, and we've been reacting to your responses and what we heard that the community wanted. So that for us has been a major, like a crucial step, just stay in close touch with the community. And if there's something like the IOTA Foundation or Ethereum Foundation or something like this in the ecosystem that you're trying to build, also stay in close touch with those, and iterate, and try to iterate with the smallest steps possible as well. So if you spend a long time trying to build something, especially in crypto where things change so fast, it might happen that by the time you're done, it's not worth it anymore. So just try to make the smallest steps possible and communicate. It's better to over communicate, although it's not that nice, than to under communicate. So I guess that would be my advice for people that are trying to bring their skills into a useful project.
Got it. Yeah, some great advice. If there's nothing anyone else wants to add to that question, I'm going to open it up to whoever out there in the community right now wants to ask any questions. I see that Sabo's joined us as well. All right.
So
go ahead. Sorry.
if anyone has just any questions, just let us know. We're always happy to answer. It's 4 of us here, so yep. Just let us know. Also, if you come up with any questions after the call, we're always happy to respond either in this Discord server or on our own on the Tangleswap one.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Sylvain is the person who I originally first got in contact with, and I think that the same person that MMP reached out to when MMP first reached out to kind of get this idea off the ground, and been great to talk to you, Sylvain. Been really cordial and really helpful, I think, for both of us to have that communication open and exchange a lot of ideas. So I really appreciate that, and that's kind of what really got me first excited about Tangleswap, because for a while it was a pretty unknown product. We didn't really know what was going on from the IOTA community side, but it was great to talk with you and learn more about Tangleswap over time.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's been really inspiring and energizing as well to talk to you. And to all of the community members as well. It's really like what drives us to put so much effort and passion into this project.
Yeah, the IOTA community needs each other. I mean, it's us against the world right now. So we need to like our collective effort, right?
Yes.
So
yes. And I'm so excited to see like in the next 6 months what's gonna come out of it. We've been seeing like a new project every week or so. So hopefully the path just keeps at that rhythm, and then we will have a really, really good 2022 in my opinion.
No doubt. There's a lot cooking out there that the community is going to be surprised about.
Exactly. Both from the community and the IF, I think. They also don't want to tease anything just before they have it perfectly ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monitoring the Twitter space as well, that we can see a lot of new projects actually is kind of coming out right now, and try to communicate with.
We're all at the same place where we all, anybody or builders, you had to wait for the right time where the code base was, where it wasn't quicksand, it was actually turning into cement, right? So it was actually able to firm up so you could start investing your money and your time into it, right? You have to pick your spots, because IOTA had very common path of rethinking things so often, right? Which actually just made you like if you were building on it, it was just like, oh, just threw away that effort. Right? So,
yeah, for sure.
No, but it's the true reality because every time something like that happens, right, it's just taking money. It's like putting a lighter to my dollars, right? So, I think we all made the assessment at the same time that okay, there's actually the management structure, the project management within the IF, and also the foundation, the deliverables, and the processes and procedures that you could see they'd finally figured it out. And it's just kind of funny because it looks like all the builders had kind of, without even talking to each other, had come to the same decision because that's the only way all these projects are kind of coming together now at the same time, So it's interesting to see.
Definitely.
Yeah, and appreciate the time the pilots went actually to come talk to us about your project. Really appreciate it. Though the final questions actually I got is, have you maybe talked to any exchange as well about listing Voi? And what is your experience with that, if you have done so?
I don't think I have talked to any Texas per se, actually. How about you, Tangleswap?
No, not yet because we don't have a clear tokenomics yet. So first we want to get our MVP done. When it's done, we can start moving our token between SEX and DEX. I personally have been in contact before as an investor with some DEXs and some SEX also, but not top tier. But yeah, I think once we have things done and Void is live and working, we can start looking for some listings.
Maybe I'm suggesting probably go through Touchpoint, I guess. Maybe talk to Dan about that. Probably IF might be able to have you in that direction.
Yeah. We already are on Touchpoint. We sent our application some days ago.
Yeah.
Yep. And also, we haven't been talking to Dexes per se, but we have been talking actually this morning, just a couple of hours ago, with these guys that are developing this investment tool to manage blockchains. So it's kind of managing DEX portfolio. Yeah, it's a tool to manage your DEX portfolio. So it's kind of similar, but not exactly a DEX per se.
Are you talking, is that with Alex Renz?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we can disclose yet.
That's okay. I was just, that's cool.
Probably in 2 weeks or something.
Cool.
Regarding your listing process, do you have already put some thought in it? Or let's say, do you want to design it more freely like Uniswap where anyone can basically list his token? Or is it more exclusive?
Yeah, we haven't decided a final structure, but we want to be as free as possible. We want to be a model similar to Uniswap where you can list anything, but from our how can I say this? From our front end to the users, only official tokens will be listed. So we want to be sure that what you see on Tangleswap is all secured by us, and we know that the team behind these projects are legit. But behind that, everyone should be able to list a token and the project, because we can't be the rulers of what happens on IOTA.
Yeah, so basically without compromising on our values of security and others, we would like to be as open as possible. And we have a few ideas, but really nothing solid yet. What we've seen in other DEXs is that they let people list any tokens, and then when certain parameters are not met, they display like 1,000 warning signs and make it super hard for people to actually use them, but they can use them. So
Exactly.
maybe something like this could work, where you're just trading at your own risk with an unknown token, but and then we also have like the sort of the Tangleswap official endorsement, where it's super easy to use it,
Exactly.
and we have validated that it's legit. That's probably going to be like the hybrid model we will go for.
Okay, nice. Then
Exactly.
I guess some liquidity requirements maybe.
Yep, yeah, for sure. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. That's why we have to study all of these in detail together with the tokenomics.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
In that same line of thought, do you see any other tools, external tools in the space that would be very valuable to you? Like one that I can think off the top of my mind, which I think is necessary for our environment in the same context, is liquidity locking smart contracts. So people can have assurance that some amount of liquidity is locked into certain pools over a given time frame. Do you guys see yourself putting something like that together, or do you guys can you think of any other tools like that you think would be helpful for the space to have?
Maybe Tangleswap can add more to this, but I'm not sure that we want to start like having those levels of complexity until we
Sure.
see exactly how the community are using our product. Because we may think that something is the most useful, and then we see users doing something completely different. So I guess until we have some usage statistics, we won't really look into adding the next layers of complexity. But maybe Tangleswap, you have like a different opinion.
No, it's exactly what you say. I mean, with the resources that we have now, we know that there are some tools that can help to keep our system more secure, or be more efficient, or provide to the user with some other utilities. But with the resources that we have now, we can't start to develop like these tools right now. Maybe once we have our MVP released and everything is done, we can make like some sort of list of possible solutions to add to the ecosystem and to our platform. And the community can decide what they want first, second, and etc. That's about how we want to do it. We want the community to decide what tools they think that are most necessary to have, and then start working on them. Right now, we are not like building anything else apart from bridges and the DEX. But yeah, for sure, once we are done with it, we can start like working to bring it to the next level.
Awesome. Kind of a little tangential, but then this is probably not related to directly what you're building at all, but do you guys have any interesting ideas? DeFi 2.0 has been a really popular term thrown around. You see like Olympus protocol, which is kind of like what we're putting together in the testnet, or other liquidity solutions, like renting liquidity or providing liquidity as a service some people are offering. Do you guys have any particular alternative forms of liquidity control management that you see as interesting in the future?
We have been reading a lot about new type of liquidity providing, but these are like really experimental projects, like, from my point of view, that haven't been like really tested by a lot of people. Like maybe Uniswap, PancakeSwap, that have been tested by millions or even billions of users. I don't know, but yeah, we have been reading about these new types of liquidity providers and types of DEXs that mix rental of liquidity with usage of liquidity. But yeah, we haven't defined nothing yet because who knows, maybe in 4 months we have something new, and I don't know.
Exactly.
To be sure that once we have an MVP, let's see how the market is and what new tech we can use. And then what I say, let's see what let's find the optimal point between what we think that is the best for the community and what the community thinks that is the best for them, and let's build it together.
Yeah,
Sure.
just to add on that a bit, like Greg said, you want to work on something that is going to hold up for at least some time. So for sure, all of these experimental protocols are super interesting, and we will probably have a section of Tangleswap dedicated to them. But for the primary focus or the main product, we just want to go for something that is a little bit more established and tried and tested, that people want it and it works. But
Totally.
for sure, I think all your ideas belong to like an important section of Tangleswap, which will be more experimental side of things. Like we've seen, for example, the guys from Tangle C, they also released Shimmer C, and some other projects also have like this alter ego or dedicated section where they just play and see if things that are a bit more new can work as well.
Sure. I guess just from the perspective of my question, it wasn't necessarily that something that you're looking to build on the DEX right now, but just maybe personal opinions about are there any in particular ideas you see as exciting, or things that you're researching in personally?
I think I've seen. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that limit the solutions provided by IDEX are really good. I like that cross-chain operability. I think that this could bring a lot of volume and TLV to the ecosystem. I also like the limit orders. I think that something that the biggest difference between a SEX and a DEX are limit orders, and this might provide to our users with some big and nice tools to trade and buy and sell assets. And about liquidity, I have been following a DEX that uses rental liquidity, as you have said before. But I'm not so sure about how this could improve how can I say profitability to the users. I want to study it on with more detail. Yeah.
And for me personally, everything that I've seen, and I think Toby maybe also has something to add because we've been chatting quite a lot in the last few days. But personally, everything that I want to see happen doesn't really apply to Tangleswap, either because it's on a different chain or because it's on IOTA, but it's like a different product. Such as, for example, a name service that would be really great. We see all these people with the Ethereum or Solana name services.
Definitely.
Something for IOTA would be really nice. And some other projects like this that are involved with DeFi, but it's not directly related to liquidity.
Definitely need that. Definitely need that.
Yep. Good. I think then we're all set for today.
I guess so. Yeah, it seems like it.
All right, you guys. I really appreciate you sharing today. Really nice.
Thank you very much. Very, very cool.
Maybe we would like a follow-up session, probably approaching your launch. What do you think?
Yes, I think that's perfect. And for that one, we can probably also put it out in our social media so that everyone from the community that wants to join maybe are free to do it as well.
Definitely.
I think that could be a good idea.
What do you say about having one on Gather next time? We have a really cool environment there.
So I don't know if any of you may have seen some tweet that we posted some time ago, but we host our weekly meetings, which happen on Thursdays as well, on a virtual office. It's just called gather.town. And I think it would be really cool if I think we can host up until 100 people. So I think it would be really cool if we went there. It's just basically like this, like a video call, but it has spatial audio so that if you get closer to people, the audio and the chat appears, and if you get further away, it doesn't. And there's also like some parts where you can stand and everyone hears you in the room, sort of like a speaker. So I think it could be like really nice for an AMA type of chat for the next one. If you guys like.
No, I haven't even heard of it. Yeah, I'd like to check it out. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I can provide a link in the channel. So
that would be very cool. Yeah, let's just check it out. Yeah, cool.
Perfect. Okay, I think that's a plan then.
Sounds great. Thank you again. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you Tangleswap team for coming together and providing us this opportunity to talk with you and learn more about your project. It's all very exciting, and we're really excited to see what you guys come up with next. And looking forward to the next steps for Tangleswap, and just excited to be along for the ride and learn more as there's more to learn. Maybe Benny was going to say something real quick. Did I interrupt you, Benny? Maybe not.
No, I'm good. Just thank you. It was so interesting, and yeah. Cool.
Yeah, thanks everyone. It's super energizing for us as well to hear the voice of the community, and also for us from the other side as well to see other projects come out. It's just like you said, community building for the community as well. So thank you so much, guys, and looking forward to the next one in Gather.